bright light. And we're back, and we're going to talk about your car and Livingston.
Oh, Patty Livingston.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of one of the kids that hung out with Danny Scout and I and Danny's little sister. You know, if we wanted to all go get a Coke together, we did things like that. And see, later on, Patty Livingston decided to buy a car, even though she didn't have a driver's license. And then Danny and I went out riding with her, or test driving it with her, so she could feel, you know, how her car drove and how it felt. We were doing the driving because we had license. But we drove north of Kokomo. I don't know, we went to Walton or Logansport. But anyhow, on the way back, she said, I want to drive. It's my car. I want to drive. So I sat in the front, and she drove, and Danny and his sister, or maybe it was just Danny. Yeah, I think it was. He sat in the back seat. Ta-ding. And she was driving fine. She wasn't breaking the speed limit. She was staying between the lines. So we thought, hey, she knows how to drive. So we were coming downhill back towards Kokomo. And down at the bottom of the hill was a stop sign, or a light, and there was a car already there. Well, it didn't enter our minds there was any problem because Patty was driving so good. But she was like hypnotized and didn't even think about putting on the brakes because she had never driven, evidently, before.
She thought the car was going to automatically slow down by itself.
Well, if you have been a passenger all your life and you're used to seeing a car go down and you just
expect it.
Yeah, you don't know what the foot arrangement is. And she ran smack into the back of that lady's car. And didn't even touch the brake.
And everybody was okay.
Yeah, it seemed like we were. I'm surprised we weren't all killed. But I instantly knew that she would never get her license. Driving without a license and having an accident, she'd probably spend some time in jail, you know. So I switched places with her, and I thought I'd just say, hey, I went to put on the brake, and my foot slipped off the brake, and then got caught under the brake, and I ran into the car.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, what they gonna do? Give me a ticket? It's better that I get a ticket than her not ever being able to get a license. So we left it at that. I'm sure she was grateful. She never said. But she was a very quiet, shy person. She just never said anything. But when I went home and I told Mom about what happened, my mom said, you weren't driving, were you? And I said, no. I couldn't lie to my own mother. I mean, you just...
They can tell they have mommy powers.
I guess it's mommy powers. And so she called up the police and she explained it to them, and I don't know what happened after that, but Evidently everything worked out because it was never mentioned again.
Hmm.
I don't ever remember it happening again or anybody say anything about it again.
Well, in your early teen years, is there anything else off the bat at the moment after that you can think of? No, I've got one here, but I was just thinking if it sparked any other memories beforehand.
I am a total blank until somebody
Mention something.
mentions something that sparks my memory. And
Anything else about the early teen years with the car?
I was awfully proud of that car. Its name was Little Papoose. Even before I bought the car, that was its name.
The guy that you got it off said, "This is the car's name."
I think either that or he had it painted on the back fender or something.
What kind of car was it? What color?
It was metal flake gold.
Oh yeah, that. Okay, that car.
And I had fuzzy squares of
Dice?
carpet or something glued on or double taped on to the dash, all over the dash and around the speedometer and around the radio, around
retro.
the glove box, around the ashtray, and it was so sexy back then.
Yeah, back then.
And I probably had a pair of dice.
Yeah.
Fuzzy dice hanging down.
I could totally see that.
And it had an electric start. You had to flip a switch to get the pump running. I don't mean electric start. It was. Yeah, it was. You had to flip an electric motor on that started pumping gas before you turned the key. It was a weird situation.
Yeah, I would say.
But that car, I mean, it was beautiful. And I drove it slow. So, I mean, it just looked like it was floating. And of course, all the time it's going. Boom, 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 boom. It was a very, very sexy car. And my dad bought it for me. It was a chick magnet. And I was 16.
Dad actually bought you a car.
My dad actually bought me my first car.
He didn't sound like the type of person that would do
No,
something
he didn't.
So that's kind of surprising.
That's very surprising. Because he just was not that type of guy.
Maybe he was thinking, you're 16, you're becoming a man, here's a car, now go get a job.
I did. Since I got out of high school, I had a job. I had a job down on North Webster Street at Kingston Products. And I was a model employee because I loved having a job. I was happy every time I went to work.
Alright, well, the next thing that's on here is climbing the fire escape.
Well, there used to be a side theater on Sycamore and Union. And it was right next to Carter and Balsam Barber Shop. And I think on the other side of it was a cigar store. And then there was an alley. Well, if you go down that alley and behind the side theater, there was a fire escape. You jumped up and you grabbed hold of the fire escape and you pulled it down and you climbed it, and then you went all the way up to the top of the building, I think the cigar store. And then you go from there to the front, up by the street, and right when you look over, Right next to you on the right is the marquee of the site theater. So you kind of scoot around the corner, climb onto the marquee of the site theater, and there's a window right there, the men's bathroom. And you just slide through the men's bathroom and let yourself down because the sink's right there to wash your hands. So you just go through the window, grab the sink, climb off, go out the bathroom door, and right across the hall is stairs that go up to the balcony. About 3 steps and you're in the balcony, or you can go downstairs to the regular theater.
This is before they start taking ticket stubs or going around and checking?
They don't go around checking, they just sell you a ticket, and when you walk in, you hand your ticket and the guy tears it in half and gives it back to you.
And well, and did anybody ever go? Well, nowadays they count heads, they look and monitor with computers and everything like that. There's more people than there should be. They'll look and they'll go and ask them for their ticket stuff.
No.
So back then they didn't have anything like that.
No.
So how many times did you use a secret entrance?
2 times.
2 times, and either of those times was anybody there?
No.
They never ran into
Nobody caught me. Nobody, nobody knew it.
So it lost its appeal after 2 times.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not going to get caught, what's the point?
Well, there was no thrill. There was, it just. And besides that, I didn't go to the movies anyhow.
I mean, it's just to see if you could.
It's not. Yeah. Even if I had the money, I got 50 cents a day for lunch. To go to the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not go to the cafeteria. I had half an hour, or was it an hour? It was probably an hour of lunch. I would just walk 2 blocks out to Spencer's pool room. And I'd go in there and I'd either play pool or play the punch boards. You got this metal key and you push it through a hole and a piece of paper comes out and you unwind it, and the top number has to be the number that's on the top of the board. Which it always is. And then the bottom number, that's the number you want to appear under the foil when all the tips are sold.
Mm-hmm.
They peel or scratch off the foil, and it's got the winning number, which would be your bottom number.
So it was like a cheap lotto, just for one building.
Yeah, well, they had lots and lots of tip boards. They had the kind where you tear off a paper and then you unfold it and it had the same numbers.
They've got those actually at the bar. I've always wondered what they wore. And a little machine that you put some quarters in and a little piece of cardboard comes out with 3 little boxes you pull open that reveals something.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is. You can win money from it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I know that. Alright, so you used your money to go down and play pool, but you didn't win any money because you weren't good at pool.
That's right.
Did you win any money from your little pool?
Yeah.
Cool.
I won a lot of times. Not 50% of the times that I played, but yeah.
So you didn't skip school to go and do that, you just used your lunch time.
Yeah, except when I was buying a ring at Zell's Jewelry, I'd pay them 50 cents every day on
layaway.
Yeah.
Who was the ring for? Or is that later on in life?
Oh, I bought them for myself. I bought them to give girlfriends.
Little Romeo, huh?
Well, I found out that was kind of pretty much
what girls like.
What girls like. You know that trestle I was telling you about?
Train trestle?
Yeah, I parked the car on Sycamore because it went on a train trestle. Well, from that train trestle, okay, straight down, right on the other side of the train trestle, there was a house. But up the hill on the next street, which was Walnut, that's where Dick Ridgway lived, on that side of the tracks. And a lot of times when Dick and I were just out walking, we would walk the tracks. And a game we liked to play was chicken. And you get inside the trestle. You know, it was thick and it had rails and bars and it was solid metal. And you sit up on this ledge inside this little thing while the train goes by. And hope that the pressure of the train doesn't suck you under the wheels. Now that is, talk about an adrenaline rush. The first time a kid tries that, I don't know, maybe it wasn't any suction there. I mean, it was open at the top,